Crocheting 101, How to Crochet for Complete Beginners. Brought to you by Club Crochet and produced by Louie's Loops. That's me. How to crochet a bow tie. This is definitely my favorite pattern here, and a great way to practice your half double crochets. Not only can this pattern make a pretty neat neck bow tie, but it can also make a pretty cute bow headband with just a few extra stitches. The materials that you'll need are some worsted weight yarn, a size G 4mm crochet hook, some scissors and a needle, and optionally a button. Somewhere around 1/2 inch should work, and a sewing needle, but this pattern can be easily made without them. And for this project, all you need to know is the chain stitch and the half double crochet. Alright, let's get hooking. To start, we'll make the main bow. It's split into two parts, the base and the middle tie. For the base, chain 22. Skip 2 chains and half double crochet in each chain across. Remember, half double crochet stitches require 2 chains before starting each row. There should be 20 total. Okay, stop here though, in between the last half double crochet in our row. We're going to do that one trick from project 2 for the mini bow to hide this tail end a little easier. Instead of pulling through the last loops to finish the stitch, yarn over with the tail end and pull it all the way through. Now put the crochet hook back into the 3 loops. You might need to tweak the loops over the hook with your nail for this. Okay, now finish the row. This makes the tail end way easier to hide than sewing it in like we'll have to do with the other tail. Now turn your row and chain 2. For the next 6 rows, rows 2 through 7, we'll just be making a half double crochet into each stitch across. But be sure to crochet around this little tail end by making sure that it's right over the stitches that you're going to be working into. When you've finished your 6 rows, cut the yarn, chain 1, and pull it all the way through. Hide this tail end in your piece. Now let's make the middle tie that goes around the bow. Chain 14. Skip 2 chains and half double crochet in each chain across. There should be 12 stitches total. Cut the yarn leaving a somewhat long end, chain 1, and pull all the way through. Finally, we'll make the strap which the bow ties onto. The length is going to be different for everyone depending on what you're making and the size of the person's neck or head. And I have 3 different ways to make these. Sewn together, this would likely be best for a headband. A tie strap, probably the best for a necktie. And button on, which could be for both. The start is the same for all the techniques. Make a slip knot and chain 6. For row 1, skip 2 chains and half double crochet in each chain across. There should be 4 stitches total. Turn and chain 2. Now is where we'll start to diversify. But before I continue, all the stitches for the rest of the strap, regardless of the version, will be worked into the back loops only, meaning these loops right here. For the sewn together version, working in the back loops only, half double crochet in each chain, 4 times total. Repeat this row as many times as necessary to fit the head when sewn together. Make sure to measure it to be certain that it's long enough. When you get to the length you want, I end up around 50 rows total. Cut the yarn, chain 1, and pull through. Thread the end on a needle and sew the pieces together with a whip stitch, which is just going into the stitch across from the yarn and then around the correlating stitch on the other side. And then continuing into the next stitch around and around to the end. Knot the yarn by going into the same loop twice. Pull tight and hide it in your piece. Now for the tie strap version. For row 2, after turning, chain 5 total. That's including the chain 2 to account for the half double crochet. Skip 3 stitches and half double crochet into the 4th and final stitch. For row 3, turn and chain 2. Half double crochet 4 times, starting in the back loop from the first stitch, and then into the next 3 chains. We'll call these 2 rows, rows 2 and 3 together, a pair of tie-hole rows. For rows 4 and 5, make normal rows, meaning turn, chain 2, and half double crochet into each stitch across. Remember, working into the back loops only. For rows 6 and 7, make another pair of tie-hole rows. For the rest of the piece, make normal rows, meaning turn, chain 2, and half double crochet in each stitch across. When you get to a size you like, I made 44 more rows and 50 rows total, but make sure to measure it around your neck. Cut the yarn, chain 1, and pull through. Thread the tails with a needle and hide them in the stitches. When you want to tie it together, put the one normal end into the tie holes, basically weaving through the 2 holes. Make sure the tied end is in the back of the shirt and under the collar to hide it. We'll make the button-on version next. For row 2, turn and chain 2. Remember, working into the back loops of the stitches only. Half double crochet 1, chain 1, skip a stitch, and half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. For row 3, turn and chain 2, and half double crochet 4, 1 in each stitch and each chain across. We'll call these 2 rows, rows 2 and 3, a pair of buttonhole rows. Now make 2 more pairs of buttonhole rows. So rows 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 will be buttonhole row, regular row, buttonhole row, regular row. For the rest of the piece, make normal rows, meaning turn, chain 2, and half double crochet into each stitch across. When you get to a size you like, I made 50 rows total, including the first 8 rows. Make sure to measure it first around your neck or head. Cut the yarn, chain 1, and pull through. Now thread the tails with a needle and hide them in the ends. Grab a new strand of yarn and pull it apart slowly. You can use just a thread for this if you want. Thread it on that sewing needle and sew the button on the end of the band. Make sure it's on the end without the buttonholes though. Now to put the whole thing together. Fold the base part in half and then in half again and pinch it tight in the center so it somewhat holds its shape. Put the middle tie over the front of the base and around the strap. Now sew together using both of the tails into the half double crochet stitches on the other side. Double knot it and cut. There you go. Now you can look dapper at any event and say you actually made the tie. Or give it to someone you love as a gift. Crocheting 101's home, clubcrochet.com, was created by my awesome friends over at Market House. Not only did they build out the amazing membership and online courses website, but they mentored and advised me along the way, and I so much appreciate them for that. Grow your brand and build your business with Market House, specializing in web design and digital marketing. Check them out at mkt.house. Thank you so much for watching. Crocheting 101 was independently created by me, Louie, with the support from my more than awesome Kickstarters that you can see on the screen now. This project took a really long time to complete, so if you liked it, please let me know by liking the video down below and subscribing and following Louie's Loops on any social media. Alright, when you're ready to move on, check out the next chapter down below or on the screen now. Pasta la pizza and happy hooking!